Good afternoon, everybody. This is Rob Edwards from the executive offices of Great Plains. I have Rich Hellerich, our principal, with us today, and we're going to have a very informal informational meeting regarding the status of DOL, what Rich is doing to help us all prepare for that and face the changes that are coming to our industry here over the next 6 months. Rich will bring you up to date. We appreciate everybody being with us today. Want to remind you, we do not open the phone lines for question and answers, so please use your question dialogue box. I'll monitor those and feed Rich the questions as they come in. And with that, we've got a lot of ground to cover, and Rich wants to bring you up to speed. Rich, take it on.
All right. Hey, everybody. Good to talk with you guys. Man, I don't know about anybody else. I think the reps are not as worn out by the DOL as what, honestly, what I am, and I think Rob is. And just before this meeting, before I had time to review what I'm going to talk about with you guys, man, I've been on the phone with two potential broker-dealers that had responded to an inquiry from us looking for a partner going forward. And I'll cover a little bit, you know, where we're at today, what we see happening, and then what the plan of action is so that everybody knows exactly what we're covering. So, and I may drift off a topic a little bit and on a couple examples, but I just want to go through what we kind of know and where everything's going and what the plan of action is. So let's get right in here to the very first slide in here. And, you know, where are we regarding the impending DOL Fiduciary Rule? And let's talk real quick about the lawsuits that are out there. There were 5 lawsuits filed against the DOL, and then a 6th one that came in later from Thrivent, which was, and Thrivent's lawsuit was only in regards to the punitive damage clause in DOL, which is really the most damaging thing in the DOL side of it. So that has some teeth from what I've heard, and a lot of the attorneys really like that because we're going after one particular problem with that law, and I heard that some of the people and the attorneys that have looked over that, they think that's a real problem in there. So that has some teeth. The other couple that have happened, NAFA has done their lawsuit in Washington, and there's another one from Synergy Group in Topeka, Kansas. And I think that the one in Topeka actually had a little bit of teeth to it from what I've heard. I think that there could be something there. You know, the Department or Commerce, U.S. Chamber of Commerce, and still has to do their lawsuit down, and I think they're filing in Texas along with another group down there. And they're going at kind of on a broader approach. But anyway, however those lawsuits go, the point is we aren't going to know here for another 30, 40 days, you know, what actually happens there and if things get kind of rewritten or whatever. So, so anyway, those are what's going on with the lawsuits. What's going to actually happen from the calls that I've been on, you know, it maybe doesn't matter today. What we have to do today is deal with the circumstances and everything that's been laid on our lap, and we have to be prepared that if this thing goes full force, how do we stay in business, do business, and still make money and everything like that. So anyway, so as it stands today, that's what we're doing. But again, I just want to throw this out there. There's been some talk from people that I've been on that this thing could get delayed. Well, okay, that's kind of cool to hear that. Maybe a 14, 18-month delay because nobody's going to be compliant with the deal. Other thing I heard is that, you know, there is some stuff out there that may be a little bit of a revision that for us, FIAs may possibly get taken out of the buy side, and that's always good to hear too, which would help out a little bit. But anyway, that's where the lawsuits are at, and we don't know for sure, but what we have to do today is play with the cards we're dealt. And right now, we're all at setting up 5 cards, and nobody's asked for more cards from the dealer. So the other thing, one option, this thing could simply go away. I think some form of this is going to come down. What it actually comes down, I don't know. But again, we're going to go with it as enforced as is, and then also keep everybody posted if FIAs get removed from the buy side of the contract. So anyway, what are the Great Plains options? And I'll talk to you what we're doing here. Great Plains options, we can access financial institution status. So let's go and look at that. Now, here's what I do know. We have got to become affiliated and part of a group, which is what we're going to do, that'll have F5 status. That has already been filed. I can't tell you who it was and is that we're probably going to go with there, but even if that something happened there are 2 or 3 other entities that are approaching Great Plains about joining them with their F5 status. I mean, my point is there's a lot of people, what I found out, not to blow our horn here, but for whatever kudo I can say, we got a really good reputation out there, and we're kind of we're kind of sought after here, and we're going to have a spot. But the good news is we're going to get to pick the best one, and that's what I like more about it. So we are going to do that. In fact, all the cards are in play to become a financial institution, and what that means is that the reps that do not and are not affiliated with a broker-dealer or an IA under an RIA or an RIA themselves, we're going to have to sign off on that business, which is what the capacity we are gearing up to be able to do. So if you don't want to have those licenses and you want to write ABC company or whatever, we'll be able to sign off on that as that it's a good case and everything will go according as planned. So that we do know is going to happen. The other thing is partnering with a broker-dealer and also creating or partnering with an RIA platform. I'm really looking at possibly doing an RIA. The only problem with the RIA is that I need to make sure we got the financial institution, all that taken care of first, and then partnering with an RIA or starting an RIA. We're definitely going to do that and partnering with a broker-dealer. In fact, I can't regurgitate the letter in full, but basically we identified out of about 600 broker-dealers, I had identified about 130 of those guys that I felt would be a good structural fit and a good personality fit with, guys that were, based out of the Midwest. And when I sent that letter out, I remember telling Rob, who's, again, sitting right across from me, I said, Rob, how many people are going to respond to that letter? I said, geez, I don't know, 1 or 2, I don't know. I could not believe the response that I got and the people that had heard about Great Plains, and I couldn't believe the number of reps that there was one firm. He said, you guys are already doing business with like 14 of our reps, and he said, man, we'd like to, be with you guys. So out of the people that have responded, we probably had right now around 18 broker-dealers that have called, contacted me, and that have been in our office that really want to do a deal. In fact, after this webinar, I got another guy that's coming from about 2 states away that's driven up here to talk to us just about that. So what I find out is that we're going to have a great option here. We're going to get to choose, and we're going to be able to be kind of stingy on who we pick, because we have to find a broker-dealer that is insurance-centric. And I'm going to give you guys an example, because this is my case study that I've been giving all these broker-dealers and the RIAs, and I'll give it to you guys because everybody's on here, and I'm not anti-equity. I love equities. I was a bond trader for 8 years. That's why I understand that part of the business along with the insurance, and I've just happened to be, as I've gotten older, that there's more people in our age bracket that are a little bit older that are more concerned about giving the money to the kids and keeping what they have and earning income off of it. But here was my case study, and I just gave it to the guy that I was just on the phone with. 74-year-old client, a male, and he has right now his account was worth $1.1 million. And when this guy was just in my office literally about a month ago with one of my agents and wanted me to help talk to him about the safety side of his money, the pie chart that I always like to call that the investment advisor had him in was about a 45% bond fund program, and the other 65, mostly 50% of it was all different kinds of equities, from Asian emerging markets to oil and gas. It was just crazy what I thought the guy had. Anyway, after 11 years, the guy's portfolio, his account went from about $970,000 to $1.1 million. So over 11 years, I don't know what kind of return he had on that, but it wasn't much. So he made a 12, 13%. So he's making around 2% a year. And then when we dialed through, the money manager on that account, to make close to $195,000. So that is my example that I gave to the guys that came in here and what we had proposed and what this guy wanted, he didn't want any part of the market. He was tired of paying the fee. He just said, look, I don't really need, he had a decent pension coming in, so he really didn't need access to the money. He goes, I just want it to be safe. And he goes, I don't care if I get 1%, I just don't want it to be at risk. So anyway, what we did, we put about probably 20% in some treasury CDs, kept that part of it liquid where he had it, and he wanted the rest of it in just indexed annuities and some fixed. And I asked the broker-dealer guys and a couple of the RIAs that have been in here, and you know, one RIA that was so fired up, and we were so close, and everything just like, gosh, I like, they're talking to us, we're talking to them, and I mean, I'm ready to ask this guy to marry me, you know, it was perfect. And then I gave him my example of the case, and he told me he'd only approve about 20% of it in an indexed annuity. And I asked the guy, I said, what would you approve, what would the other 80% go into? And he said, well, it ought to be in a managed bond fund and some stocks. And my heart sank because, I mean, again, I liken this conversation that we're doing with all these different RAs and broker-dealers. I've got a Ford salesman and I got a Chevy salesman. So the securities guys are the Ford, the Chevy guys over here. And, you know, those guys, again, are leaning on their side. The insurance side is leaning on their side. And what I really am looking for here, so you guys know, I'm looking for the guy that can sell Ford and Chevy, that he sells both of them. And maybe it's the used car lot. Hell, I don't know. But that's the guy I got to find that believes that that 74-year-old ought to have 80% or 85% of his money guaranteed, and he'll believe that what we're doing is the right thing for the client. The other thing I find out, you know, just on talking with these guys, and I get where they're coming from. Most of the brokerage firms and the guys that are in here, most of the people that they have in managed accounts, a lot of these guys are in their mid-50s. They're a little more aggressive than our guys because, I mean, annuity people, I think that last average age I got of those people were around 67 to 68. So we do have two different types of clients, but again, they see it as a Ford sale, and we're seeing it as a Chevy sale. So we're trying to find the niche and the mix that's going to work. And I think we're close. That's the good news. I think we got a couple guys, but then there are also a couple guys, and you know, are not there, but they have everything except for that component. So anyway, so back to the partnering with a broker-dealer. That is what I'm trying to find out. And I'm going to Hail Mary out to anybody. If anybody knows of that guy that is like that, I'm happy to have this conversation. I think I had the conversation 3 times in my sleep last night at 1 o'clock, 3 o'clock, and 5 o'clock when I woke up. So I got it down pretty good. But if anybody knows anybody that maybe I didn't mail to, I'm happy. If you want to send me the name, I'm happy to contact them and see if it'd be a fit. Then we go back to partnering with RIA and so forth. You know, we would also like going forward. I do believe, I don't know how quick that'll be, but as we partner with an RIA, we will want the opportunity as we start gathering assets underneath that platform where Great Plains can have their own RIA and take care of our own guys in that capacity once we completely understand, you know, how the whole thing works. So anyway, that's what we're doing, partnering with the broker-dealer and all that kind of stuff, and what we have to do. So let's go on and talk about our next thing a little more in detail. Access to the FI status. Again, this is going to happen. In fact, it's, you know, other than getting the approval from the DOL, that's going to happen. In fact, just so you guys know what happened with DOL, when this thing all first happened, you know, you either had to be a bank or you had to be an insurance company or a broker-dealer RA to have that FI status as a fiduciary. I mean, the DOL, I don't think they anticipated all the IMOs that were going to apply to become that FI status, and so now they've created a fourth, my understanding, they've created a fourth entity there for IMOs to become FIs, and it's going to be streamlined, and I think everybody that applied there, I think they're going to get that status, and so does that ever mean that Great Plains is going to become an FI on our own? We might. We just got to see how everything unfolds and everything like that, but for right now, we're tucked in there safe, and we're safe to say that for the independent channel. The other thing this thing does, by getting that status, it'll protect the independent insurance-only producer that does not want to become an IAR, an IA, or a registered rep. And currently, like I said, we have 4 options on the table. We're leaning really hard to the best one, which is the very first one that we have there. And as soon as we know that that is a done deal and we have FI status. I'll let everybody know that capacity. But more importantly, I have to get it right, and I have to get it right not for me. I got to get it right for you guys, because if you guys aren't taken care of, we're not taken care of, and I want to continue to do it, you know, for lack of a better term, the Great Plains way, which for 15 years it's always been the right way. Okay, so let's move on. The partnering with the broker-dealer, just analyze this a little bit more. Again, we probably have the 8 relationships. I wrote this webinar, I think, Rob, what, a week ago or so?
10 days.
10 days ago, and so
more than 8.
Yeah, we got probably 8 more on there now. 3 or 4 of them we know are not going to happen, but you know, we're trying to fill out where we're going to go. The other thing I'm wondering about and let you know, production requirements. You know, all BDs, you know, we don't want to go in there and find a BD with a 100,000 GDC requirement. I think that would be pretty tough on most of our guys, because they are, you know, our guys again are Ford and Chevy guys, and somewhere in the middle there. So some of you guys, and I appreciate that. I know that Great Plains, I know we got 4 of our guys that literally own their own broker-dealer, and this isn't even going to affect those guys. I mean, they're going to be their own FI and write the business, and you know, and everything's going to be peachy keen with those guys. But long story short, I know I've got some guys out there that probably do 10, 15, 20,000 GDC a year, and that's good, and I've got to be able to have a place for them, and I think I already have a place for that tier agent that they're going to leave the insurance business alone, and again, on the other side of the coin, probably be able to sign off as the FI on their business. So trying to find the happy medium there with production requirements that'll fit. You know, there probably may be 2 options. That we have one that has a lot lower production requirement, and then B, one that might have a little higher production requirement, but may have, you know, the IRA platform we're looking for too. New expenses for the RRs, you know, and I know anybody that wants to become an RR, I mean, your expenses are going to go up from technology charges that the broker-dealer, if you're going to want to have access to things, along with your E&O is going to go up. And so when I say tread softly, because maybe that may not, you know, becoming an RR may not be quite what you envision that it's going to be. The other thing with partnering with the broker-dealer, the ideal way to go with this is to find a broker-dealer that also has the right IRA platform in place, so we can all have it under one umbrella. And again, more importantly, like-minded people. And I just got to have guys that think like I do, and kind of have the same mannerisms, and probably like me isn't that good at golf. Anybody played with us last time knows I'm not that good. So anyway, that's what we're looking forward to, partnering with the broker-dealer, and we're moving that along as fast as we can. I will say this, no matter what happens to DOL, and I'll come back to this, I'm going to do this, and we're going to pursue it, and we're going to have it as an option. We are going to go there, because I'm tired of, I think if it doesn't happen now, 5 years down the road, we get another president in line, and these things, and I think the whole thing with DOL, it's going to move to trying to almost like what not Barney Frank, but what was the banking law that happened a few years back? Huh? Ferguson? No, it was the banking law that basically got that. Harkin? No, I'll come back to that. Somebody probably knows on here, but Barney Frank led that, and the other senator, but Dodd-Frank law that really pinched a lot of the small country banks, and you know, we're left with basically mega banks, and that's what this law is going to do. It's going to really confine and group people together for survival. Good news, and I'll get back to that about survival, because there's something, there's a silver lining in this cloud, and I'll tell everybody about it here in a minute. RA platform, let's go to that next slide there, Robbie, and again, standalone RA, and we could be doing that. I'll keep everybody posted with that. We just want the option to be able to do that if we so choose. I already talked to everybody about the RAA BD combo, and actually 3 to 5 possible fits right now. That's not true. It's probably up to 8 or 9 now. So we got a lot of options out there. We're just, again, trying to find the combo that'll work best. Another slide here, no matter what, again, where you are going to have access as an FI status, line with a like-minded broker-dealer and RAA. And then when I say take advantage of this opportunity, You know, the broker-dealers, hearing it from their standpoint on DOL and all that stuff, and for whatever it's worth, man, those guys, the middle-level BDs, man, they're not happy about this at all. I mean, it's going to really pinch them too. You got punitive damage laws and all the stuff in this. They're really reeling from it too. But they said if there is any silver lining, the people that have the staying power that stay in here could, you know, if you figure that most average reps in our business is 50, what is 57 around 55, a lot of these guys could just say hell with it, and they go out. And the same thing, you know, on the investment side, their average rep is 56, and they're in the same boat. They're worried about some of these guys just saying heck with all this, and you know, I'm not going to go in there and learn a whole new thing, take another license after 25 years, and they could hang it up. And I think there will be a big opportunity. Somebody's going to have to take care of these people and invest some money, and I think for the guys that literally can navigate through the regulation, if everything stays as is, I think there's an opportunity there, and that's what we see it as, and we're going to make lemonade out of lemons here, so that's what we see. If you want to learn more, you know, you can always email me, and I'll answer specific questions, and I'm happy to, you know, if anybody wants to call me and talk to me further, but I just really honestly took off my jacket here and my tie, and I've showed everybody what we have and where we're at, and I feel a lot better today than I did 2 months ago. And because we got a plan of action, there are some variables that we still don't understand what our commission is going to look like. And I know there's some products coming out for just the RIA. We just don't know what the final products are going to look like, and who's going to stay and who's going to be able to compete, even on the insurance carrier side of it. You know, who's going to be ready to roll. So those are things that will unfold, and as we do, we'll probably have another one of these DOL meetings here in, I'm thinking 30, 40 days, and we may be talking about the same things, or we may have some better announcements to make and tell you, hey, here's what we're doing. But I just want to let everybody know, beyond a shadow of a doubt, we think we have everything in line to have everybody covered, and we'll move forward. And if these are the rules that we have to play by, then so be it. We'll play that rule. So anyway, Rob, you got anything to add?
No, in closing, I just, as Rich alluded to, it's a very fluid situation here, especially as he pointed out, we're gratified and amazed at the response we've had looking at our options in both the BD community and RIA world. We'll keep you posted. I would encourage you, we may have a short notice webinar to bring everybody up to speed. We normally like to have 2 weeks to 10 days to put it out there to you. Please, please stay in touch with your annuity marketing specialist here at Great Plains, and we'll keep you posted.
Where was that?
So, hey, thanks everybody. Have a great day, and like Rich said, please give us a call if you've got any additional questions or concerns. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.